say hello from the Ladies Prayer Advance. We are testing out the equipment for the live stream, and we are so excited for this weekend. As we're testing out the equipment, I want to tell you a little bit of a Prayer Advance testimony from my heart. This will be my 14th Ladies Prayer Advance, and going back to year number 1, I can tell you that they had preached and they had talked about impossible prayer request. And at that point in my life, I was praying. The Lord had given us, my husband and I, a baby boy, and we were praying and praying and praying for a baby number 2. And seemingly, nothing was happening. And I came to a ladies' prayer advance, and I heard this message on impossible prayer request. And God really just laid it on my heart that I needed to not just want or wish or hope for, but to pray for fervently a baby. And so I began praying, and it seemed like every year I would come back to the ladies' prayer advance, again, not having a baby. My heart would still be sad. I would still feel very broken, but yet I would feel rejuvenated coming to the ladies' prayer advance. But the Lord never took that impossible prayer request off of my heart. It was 8 years later that the Lord gave us our baby girl. He gave us our Olivia. And what a blessing she was. And I believe it was a direct result of the Ladies' Prayer Advance. It was a direct result of hearing powerful preaching and hearing how God answers those who pray. And the hard thing is, God answers our prayers differently. And He answers them on His timeline and not our timeline. That's really hard to process when you are going through the emotions and when you're going through that trial and you're in that season of life. It's hard to see God's hand in it all, because all we feel is the grief and we feel the hurt and we feel the pain. But God is so much greater and He is so much more. And had I not come here 14 years ago, maybe I wouldn't have heard that message, and maybe I wouldn't have known to pray for that specific prayer request with that fervency, with that urgency. But ultimately, it was putting my trust that God is able, and that God is so much bigger than I am, and His ways are so much higher than my ways, and His thoughts are not my thoughts. And so coming to a ladies' prayer advance for me was life transforming, because I feel like I learned how to pray. I learned how to meet with God. And then you get to filter in all of the other elements of a ladies' prayer advance. You get to filter in the awesome worship, the music, the singing, and how it lifts your heart and how it draws you closer to the Lord, and it prepares you for the message and for the preaching. And I am so excited for the messages this year. Reba is the best. If you're going to tune in live, I'm telling you, don't miss Reba. But it's not just the singing, and it's not just the speaking. It's also the relationships that you get to meet. Coming back year number 14, you walk in and you get to see old friends that you haven't seen in a year, that you've prayed for, that you've reached out to and you've communicated with. But you look forward to coming to the Ladies' Prayer Advance because relationships and friendships are formed. And so I just want to say, I love the Ladies' Prayer Advance. I am so glad to be here, and I truly hope that you guys get to tune in and that you watch with us. But more than that, I am asking that you pray now that if you've never been here, or if you've not been in a while, that maybe God would challenge your heart to register for the 2021 advance this coming March, and get yourself here and get yourself encouraged and uplifted, and just hear some exciting things. But ultimately, that you just get to be with God. You get to meet with God. Thank you for sticking with us for this little bit, and check back at 6 o'clock.